Now, at the time of me making this video, the prisoner who escaped Wandsworth Prison, he's still on the run, and there's a massive manhunt for him in one part of the country, namely the southeast. And as I said in my last video about this issue, I still believe that the guy had help escaping. And because of the nature of his escape, I also believe that he has fled the country already with the help of those who assisted him in his escape. Of course, I may be wrong, and I am speculating. However, I do point out in my last video the alarm bells that make me believe this. And I am just surprised, really, that other criminals haven't tried this. After all, they're not all stupid. They are smart people, and it's not beyond them, because the prison service, it's on its knees. It's just like the NHS and other British institutions. And I'm telling you this through experience, because I did that job for 11 years. And it's a job that got even more dangerous by the day, and that's why I left. I think reading the news the other day, they said that Wandsworth has a total of around 1,400 prisoners. It's not even designed to hold that many, the same as many other Victorian prisons in the UK, and they're understaffed. So at any given time, you will have around between 50 and 70 prison officers guarding over 1,000 prisoners. And then there's the prisons themselves. They were designed back in the Victorian era, when transporting prisoners was done by horse and cart. And so the gatehouses where you enter and leave the prisons, they're too narrow for the contracted prison vans. And in some cases, they have to go through the gatehouse and into the courtyard itself in order to get inspected. And sometimes vehicles do not get inspected. I've witnessed this myself, and this is all due to lack of staff. And around the year I left, it was 2015 or 2016, prison officers were asked to do the same job on less money. And it was just stupid. So of course, prison officers left, and they left in droves. And therefore, if you don't have enough prison officers, the routine you must undertake in order to keep people safe and prevent escapes, it goes to rat shit. Take example, the routine it would have taken for the vehicle to enter and leave Wandsworth Prison that the escapee used to do one. So when the vehicle comes into the gatehouse, the drivers are inspected, paperwork is inspected, sometimes they are physically searched, and a search of the vehicle is ensued, inside, outside, on the top, under the bottom, and these are done using mirrors for hard to see places. That vehicle is then escorted by a member of staff, usually a gatehouse staff, to where it needs to go, and in the case of the escape, it was the kitchens. Now, while this vehicle was unloading, this vehicle should have been observed closely at all times by that member of staff. And then when the job is done, it's escorted back to the gatehouse. The vehicle is then given a more thorough search because it is leaving, and it's done because of what's just happened, prisoners using vehicles to escape. And when the vehicle is cleared, it's gone, and that's it. So how the hell did they miss the guy wearing white clothes, white cook clothes, under a vehicle using mirrors? I don't know, because the underside of a van or a lorry is either brown or black. And if you checked it correctly the first time, you would know there is a massive anomaly when you're checking it on the way out. So these procedures were clearly unfollowed at HMP Wandsworth, which enabled this guy to escape. And I would say that is all down to lack of staff. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen vehicles not get searched. I've seen vehicles not get escorted. And it's a massive breakdown in routine and security. And I think the crux of the problem is subsequent governments, including Labour, before the Tories, when I first started working there. The Labour Party were also cutting funds to the prison service and the private contractors as well. They were giving contracts out to the lowest bidders. So basically it went to companies who underbid and promised to do things on the cheap, and they had escapes as well. And therefore you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, and the result is a crumbling prison service. Now, I know MPs are calling for HMP Wandsworth to be closed down, but where on earth would they take all the prisoners? Because all the other prisons, they're overflowing, they're full, which would put pressure on these other prisons having to take these prisoners in, when what they should be doing is recruiting the right people, paying them well, make sure these prisons are overstaffed with officers, and keep on top of their training. I mean, it all adds up when you don't, and the result is, of course, this escape the other day. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you like. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next time, Roger Trout.